everybody. We have Tania today with us. And Tania, in 2 sentences, what was your business idea and how does it change the world?
Okay, so my current business idea, because I had a lot, and my current business idea is my coaching practice. I am a life and leadership coach and design a new life coach. And do I intend to change the world? Well, I intend to positively influence the world by supporting people in discovering their joy, discovering their values, and living a happy, wholesome life.
Excellent. I think that we said in our announcement of this event that as a founder or an entrepreneur, with your well-being and your attitude, you set the tone for the entire company. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I totally agree. And this is what I see now as my work as a leadership coach. When I coach leaders, it all starts with yourself. As a leader, as a founder, no matter how big your team is, you set the tone. You show the example. It's the same. Yeah, I can draw parallels with parenthood, for example. Right? This is exactly the same. We set the example for kids, the same as we do it for our teams. And looking back at my past experience as a solopreneur, because before diving into coaching and becoming a helping practitioner, I had several projects, my creative projects, and not so creative, but I've been a solopreneur for most of it. Never had a fixed team. And my biggest mistake was thinking that I can do it all myself. Or what I also see now when I coach founders, startup founders, who are just there putting down fires, like thinking that this is not yet the moment to invest in my own well-being. Like I'm not there yet to take care of this, to have more balance, to harmonize my working day, just to take breaks, to go on holidays. So this brought me to 2 burnouts, and one of those was quite severe. That made me redefine everything. So that's why, yes, you as a founder is, I think, it always the example to the team, and the way you take care of yourself. If we are talking about health, if we're talking about physical and mental health, is a very big example. It sets the tone.
You said before, when we talked before this session, before this live, that you work especially with the people in transition, and it intrigued me because I think we're always in some kind of transition, and we always need you, therefore. But yes, it's a quite good approach, I think, because when you're in transition and when you set your standards and your habits, it does set the way how you function after you go through this transition. Could you tell us a bit more? How do you approach it, and how do you think that every transition has this same baseline or same approach, no matter what it was?
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful question. I say that I coach people in transition. I help them navigate change. So the transition can be different indeed. Transitions can be growing the company, changing the country, starting a new business, starting from scratch, or even expanding your team. It's also transition. As I told you, right? Also motherhood or redefining your life and career past motherhood. It's also kind of questions my clients bring, the goals my clients bring, and I don't want to be needed at every transition. That's right. They say we always need you. I don't want to be needed. Because as a coach, my goal is to support my client to find the answers, the tools, and the strength within, because I believe that all the answers are there within. We know better for ourselves. I never tell my clients what to do and how to live life, but I support them to get their answers. And I understood that transitions might be different, but the foundation that we have and that we need to know in order to go through different kinds of transitions, the foundation is the same. So the foundation would be a very deep alignment with myself, with my purpose, with my values, with who I am as a person, right? With my authenticity. Now, it's a very clear understanding of what brings me energy and what drains my energy. It's the understanding what brings me joy, what makes me happy. Yes, there is a science of happiness that says that, yeah, there's scientifically backed up information that we need physical activity, we need a sense of purpose, we need good relationships, we need intellectual involvement, and we need emotional intelligence. These things help us to feel joy and change the brain chemistry. But I need to understand what combination of those elements is relevant for me at this stage of life and what I need now. So these are the foundations, and this is what I help my clients to discover. So it's kind of a framework that they when they're going through the next transition, they can get back to that framework, and then they can realign, right? Rediscover it already on their own. So we learn by practicing and experiencing. So once they go through this process, they will already know that, yeah, maybe this is the time for me to define my values. So maybe just check if I'm aligned, and what is my purpose at this stage? How do I act upon this?
Excellent.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to work with you, how does it look? What are my possibilities? What can you offer me?
Okay, well, it would start with having a conversation before, right? Like as an introductory call, and it would start with me learning your goals and needs and understanding if I have something to offer to support you. But if if it works out and if there is an alignment, let's say. I offer different things as well. It can be customized. It depends on the goal of the client. I can work in classic coaching, right? Like when we work for a few months, we meet once a week, and we work on a bigger goal. We break it into actionable steps and act upon. Along the way, discovering limiting beliefs and all the obstacles, and remaking those plans. This can be one way. I'm also a certified Design Your Life coach. It's a beautiful Stanford-based approach which helps people get unstuck and act without having clarity, right? So I call it like that. It's a beautiful framework that helps us, again, to see, look at our lives, look at ourselves, look at our work, and design something that will help us move forward and support us, and that will be aligned with who we are. So we say we are designing a joyful and well-lived life and career. This is another methodology that I work with, and for some people it works very well, and for others prefer classical coaching. I work different ways. I have a special offer, let's say, that I really love. It's called value work. So these are 3 sessions where I call it a starting point, a foundation of any coaching work. It will help along the way. I help people identify their core values. And when I say identify, I don't mean the exercises that we may find on internet, like the value wheel, which is very powerful and it's insightful. But we dive a little bit deeper, just to really get those core values, like terminal values, something that we really live for, something that help us identify our purpose and meaning, and bring it into every step of the day. So yeah, these are things that I work with. And as I said, values, purpose, joy, energy, happiness, understanding of these pillars will help and support every person in any kind of transition.
Great. Before we get back to this, I'd like to ask you, what are the most common mistakes people or founders or companies make when they want to make the transition or get unstuck or things like that, or work, because a lot of times we hear the saying, okay, work on yourself, but nobody exactly say what does that mean, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's being aligned with who you are,
Mhm.
uh, with what you value, with how you see. We're talking about work setting. How does your work and your life, work view and life view, how do they align? Is
Mhm.
there a conflict, right? Is
Mhm.
there something that I don't want to see? And I know that I work a lot with startups and startup founders, and this is kind of a special group of people who are building something, who usually have a vision, but they're
Mhm.
so overwhelmed because there are so many things that you have to tackle at the same time. There's no like huge team departments, and the responsibility that you can share. You
Mhm.
maybe share it with a few co-founders, but there is a lot of this, and they don't have time. They don't find time for this alignment, for this
Yeah.
inner work. And this
Mhm.
is exactly as what I was talking when I was a solopreneur, but I am a solopreneur still. But
Mhm.
I thought that I'm not there yet. I don't earn enough yet. I don't have enough time yet. I
Yeah.
can't allow myself like deep inner work or even taking breaks. So I would say not investing time in yourself, not investing time in your just values, discovering your purpose, aligning, and not taking breaks, not standing still, because
Mhm.
it feels like, it might feel like, yeah, I can't stand still now because the world is changing so fast, I have to act.
Yeah.
But if you don't stop, if you don't know what the stop means to you,
Mhm.
what is the best stop for you, right? How would it be, what it would be like, if you don't know these things, that it's a burnout, or not liking your work anymore, right? Or losing your sense of purpose along the way.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what kind of investment in, let's say, dollars are we talking, and money, and time also?
Yeah, it depends. My coaching packages start of 1,500 euros, but when we're talking about 3-4 months of work.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be a long-term coaching.
Mm-hmm.
The investment in the value discovery, it's 300 euros, right? So
Mm-hmm.
$300, let's call it like that. These are 3 sessions, and we meet we meet twice in one week, and once 1 week after.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this and everything else is customizable. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say on average, an hour of my work would be 100 euros.
Mm-hmm.
But also depending on the package, depending on the custom program that we create, I can customize it.
Excellent. Because I saw a lot of times people don't like to talk about their prices and investment, because they think they're overpriced, or their tariffs are too high. But I think if we think about it as an investment, with what we would prevent, like you said, burnout, or not being aligned on, or being not being satisfied with your work and eager to do more, if
Mhm.
a few $100s can help you with that, it could be priceless. Not just it's not a big investment.
Absolutely. This is what some clients even told me at the very beginning, when I just, shaped my offering and was working, and I was a bit afraid of raising my prices. But then I heard it a lot, like, yeah, I now I understand, like, I'm so free now because I know what I really value, and I can design life around my values. I can try it. So it's priceless.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gives a sense of liberation. And indeed, I like the word investment that you're using, because it's not the fee, it's not the cost, it's investment in yourself,
Yeah.
investment in your well-being, investment in
Mhm.
the happy life. And yeah,
Mhm.
after all, we all want joy and happiness, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I also noticed that what I liked, because I think that's really important, that you are talking about framework. And I think people who want to thrive, who want to get better, who want to get unstuck, need some frameworks. And it doesn't really matter what the framework is, but we need some structure. And these frameworks, different frameworks, give us exactly that. It gives us structure, and like you said, you know a lot of frameworks, and you apply the one that could make the biggest change, or the biggest, gives the biggest value. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't say that this one framework would give the biggest value. I would say that it works for many people, but it might be, yeah, we were talking about designing your life, all right? I have the book here with me because I had a workshop on it a few hours before our conversation. It's just one of the methodologies that we can use, and there is no one size fits all, so we always customize it and we can use tools from it. But indeed, frameworks. But when it comes to frameworks, again, I don't want to mislead the listeners. It's not the tools that work for everyone. These are just tools that people can try, and under my guidance and with my support, and they may help them find the answers. And some people don't need exercises and tools. Some people just need a classic coaching conversation where I actively listen and I ask questions that help the person to reflect on his or her experience and his life and problem, let's say. There's also structure, right? So even without frameworks and tools and interventions, like we call them in positive psychology, that I work with, even without that, just with high quality coaching, the person will get the answers. And even the coaching session always ends with an action plan and with a certain structure that the client creates for himself. So it also gives a sense of accomplishment and something to work with, right? So it's some takeaway that is actionable.
Yeah.
But yeah, designing your life is one of the methodologies that I really love, and I love playing with it and using the exercises from it in my workshops, or just giving it as a fun way to keep on exploring, keep on discovering and finding answers to your questions. So yeah, if anyone who is listening is interested in designing your life, just write me a message. I will be happy to talk about it. It's a Stanford-based approach, and I just loved the book that I showed you. I just loved it so much. I read it twice, and eventually I certified as Designing Your Life coach because I thought it's so fun and it's so applicable to many situations. And it helps us to think about our life as the designer thinks about the design project, for example, which is let's say, first of all, it's never final. So we don't need to create the final design because the designer creates many prototypes, right? And starts testing. This is what we do with our life. We don't need to get stuck on thinking, I need to find this one perfect solution to my problem. I need to find one perfect path or start one perfect business. Sometimes it's just exploration. It's testing different ideas and finding the one that I feel most aligned with. So yeah, that's why I love it, because it helps me get unstuck. I'm a perfectionist. I always try to, I need this to be perfect. But no, I just need to start acting on it. And then the clarity and this perfection will come along the way. So this is also something that I see, talking about mistakes. This is also something that I see as not a mistake, but a learning experience. Like people get stuck. They are afraid of, they might be walking with an idea of a business project, but they are so afraid to start or even try or talk about it because they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see clarity. They don't see the next big step. And they get stuck. They don't even start doing it. So we try to reframe it. Like, what would happen if you would just try one little part of it, right? You would prototype it. So this is also something that I see, like being afraid to try because you don't have the bigger picture.
Excellent. So what is the best business advice you received?
Business advice that I received. Delegate. Delegate. And this is the business advice I received and the business advice I gave myself.
Mhm.
delegate what needs to be delegated. Like find what your non-negotiable, what you are really good at and what you really want and need to do, right? That sweet
Mhm.
spot where you are at the core of the processes, that and everything that is just supporting it and someone else can do it, just delegate. Then I think it will help grow any project. And at the same time align with yourself, just know what makes you feel whole, what makes you feel good.
Mhm.
Because if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a founder, if you're a leader, it's all about your energy, it's all about your inner drive.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, so these are I would say these are two advice, right? But
Mhm.
I can't choose one because they're both very important.
Excellent. I have another one that's I think it's the best for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I like to talk about it. And this is a great example for your perfectionism, and it is your first 100 videos will suck.
Yeah.
And it's so if you think about it just a bit, you see that it gives you the advice that you start with what you have. You start doing bad repetitions and do it and do it and do it, and that's you, because you cannot be perfect without being lousy at the beginning.
Of course, I love it. I love it. I cannot agree more. Just start, and you will learn along the way. Just we don't learn much from being stuck and overthinking. Like right when we are afraid or stuck in our heads, we don't learn anything. But we learn by doing. That's
Mhm.
how we can get better, and that's
Mhm.
how we can share our gifts with the world. Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
And I also think there are people are uh, too afraid to ask. Uh, but I think also Bible. I'm not a religious person, but I think also Bible said, "Ask and you shall receive," or something like that. And it's true. If we don't ask, the answer is always no. But if we ask, the answer might just be yes, and it usually is, or often is. So this is also one of the things that I think people make a lot of mistakes, especially people who want to be entrepreneurs. They don't ask, I don't know, people who they admire, people who they want to work with, or potential clients. And if you do the repetition, I saw the same thing as that 100 videos will suck. Was the thing that you're collecting no's. If you want to get some yeses, you concentrate on, okay, today my goal is to get 100 no's or 10 no's or whatever, and eventually you'll get that yeses too, and it's much easier for us to cope with that because we want that no's, and
Yeah.
it make it the process much easier. So
Absolutely. It's a learning experience. It also helps with sales, right? Because
yeah.
yeah, then you have to just step out there and just sell your products, your services, whatever. Even sell your company to people you are hiring. Yeah. Can
Mhm.
I comment on that? That's also like
Absolutely.
since we were talking about designing your life, it's beautiful. Like really find a mentor, find someone who has been there or someone who is doing what you want to do. This is one of the steps in the designing your life framework. Actually, it's
Oh, great.
prototyping, as I said, but prototyping can also be not necessarily trying and building something already, but prototyping can be just talking to someone who already does what you want to do.
Mhm.
Someone has this job or maybe running the same kind of business. Just ask them, like interview them, see how their day-to-day life looks like, what
Mhm.
experiences they have, what problems they face, and just imagine yourself doing the same, right? So this can also
Mhm.
be something. Yeah. And network, find your communities, find the circles, and don't be afraid to talk to people and ask support, help, and just ask people to present you to other people, to introduce you to other people, to, I don't know, share your social media posts.
Yeah.
Just Don't be afraid to ask. Yeah, love it.
So you have been an entrepreneur for a long time. What piece of advice would you give your younger self if you uh, would, with your wisdom right now, would you do something different? Would you make different moves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would not be, as I would say, arrogant to do everything on my own. Yeah,
Mhm,
as
mhm,
speaking from the experience as a solopreneur. Yeah, of course, I also run a few projects when I was a part of the team, but most of my life, my
mhm,
professional life, I've been building things on my own. And my last business idea, business project, like before I pivoted into coaching a few years ago, and coaching and positive psychology was my passion project, and it still is. But it was a hard lesson that I put it on hold. It's still on hold because I thought that I can do everything by myself. And
mhm,
yeah, it was a physical project. I created a beautiful mindfulness album for new mothers. That
mhm,
would, yeah, so physical. So it was quite a big investment. And yeah, I had to launch it. So I had to sell it, just launch it to the world. And I thought, oh, I'm very creative, and I photographer in the past. I know how to create content. I can create beautiful content. I know how digital marketing works. I can do it all on my own. The first year, so I will run all social media. I will start selling my albums. I'll sell the first batch, and then I will invest in the next one. Yeah. So I launched it. I invested in those albums, and I did not budget well enough to hire someone to help me run social media and create content. And yeah, then life happened. I was in a burnout,
mhm,
and I couldn't handle it all myself. I could not. So I had to make a hard choice to pause this, to stop it.
mhm,
So I
mhm.
still have those beautiful albums in my storage, but
Yeah.
this was a big learning experience. And I said, okay, if I'm starting over again, if I'm doing something new, I will think very well what I can delegate, what I should delegate, even if I can do it myself. But I'm one person, and I have this number of hours a day, so
Mhm.
I better put my energy in different processes. So yeah,
Yes.
this would be something like really. Don't think that you can do it all on your own. Find help, find support. There are different ways of doing this. Design your life, design your project in a way that you can share your gifts, right, and do what you're really good at, and
Mhm.
let others do what they can do
Yeah. Yes.
best.
I like that. I like that arrogance term, because I was the smartest guy on the world during COVID, and then I went to one mastermind or something like that when I wanted to learn Facebook advertising, and when I was on these sessions, people were asking so stupid questions that anybody can answer. At least I know all the answers, but they were all wrong. And I saw that, how could I be that arrogant? How could I be so stupid that I wouldn't give myself the permission to learn to listen to other people who have more experience, more knowledge, and things like that. And it really changed my approach in my life from that on.
Yeah, it's a humbling experience.
Yeah. So, what surprised you the most in your entrepreneurial journey, in good or in bad way?
Mm, surprised. I don't even know if surprised is a good word, because I did not go there with expectations, right? Because we get surprised when we have expectations. It was just, I started, yeah, I left corporate path when I was quite young. And, I
Mhm,
was working on more this beautiful, purposeful energy. I felt I'm following my heart, following my dreams, and I didn't know how it would be. But what was something maybe no, not even unexpected, something that I didn't think about. I never thought that this would become just a part of my life. This is something that never ends. It's not a 9 to 5 job where I switch off my computer and go home and keep on with my life. And in my case, it's for many years it was not super healthy. I was like working nonstop with no weekends, no holidays, and having a kid, having a child really changed these things. It made me reconsider what I do and how I want to see my week.
Mhm.
But still, I'm still, even if I'm working on designing this kind of structure, right, in a way that I have life and I have work, even if work is a big part of my life and I love it, but it's still something that I struggle with a lot. So yeah, this was very surprising, not knowing how much of it how much life will be in my work and how much work will be in my life. Let's put it like that.
Well, if you would ask me what other people are saying when I ask you this question, they usually say, We were surprised, it never gets easier." And I think it's the kind of way that you said the same.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it also never gets easier. It never stops. It never
Yeah, it
stops.
never stops. Yeah.
It's also something like I have an experience of being a project manager in a startup, and this was also one of my experiments. And it was amazing. It was kind of, you have a deadline and you have a tasks and you have to reach the goal, and then it
Mhm,
stops, and then there is the next one. But
mhm,
in entrepreneurial, solopreneur journey, sometimes it feels like there is no stop, no end, no beginning, no end.
mhm,
In this case, what really helps me is breaking my goals into smaller goals, right, and eating that elephant piece by piece. Just
mhm.
really
Yeah,
creating this frame, and a deadline, let's say, setting
mhm,
those deadlines for myself.
mhm,
And
mhm,
also it helps to appreciate small wins, notice them, acknowledge them, and appreciate those small wins. This is also what I teach my clients, the people that I work with. Just notice, because usually we don't notice little things. We have a big goal and we're like, okay, I'm gonna get there. But we have to learn to notice those little things every single day that are bringing us closer to our bigger goal. Then it will also help us to, I think, to go through, and
yeah.
maybe it will feel that it's getting easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are a bit over time, but I have one last question, or perhaps two. Uh, what would you say was the most rewarding part of this entrepreneurial journey?
Having freedom to and creativity, and
Mhm,
freedom and creativity to try different things. And also, if even if I take an example of my photography, it was my longest project, like 12 years, and it was
mhm,
just a lot of freedom in trying different things, different ways, and different niches.
mhm.
So yeah, it was very yeah, it made my life much richer, I would say. So yeah.
Good point. Good point. So, any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? Yeah, again, it's just a reminder to everyone anyone who was listening up till this point, really take care of yourself. Really know what gives you energy, what gives you life, because it's not only physical energy, it's life energy. So yeah,
Mhm,
especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, if a
mhm,
founder, start with yourself, and put yourself first, and take care about your mental and physical state, because these things are aligned. And yeah, this will make a difference. This will also make a difference in the way you lead, in the way you perform, and how creative you are, and if you're an entrepreneur, how good you can accomplish your tasks and your goals. So yeah, I think this is the most important at this point.
Excellent. Thank you for a lovely talk and for sharing all your experience and knowledge. And see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your wisdom.